Hi, it's Jen with Astro T Astrology. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about Venus and what Venus has going on this week, and why we get a little bit of five-stage clinger or stalker vibes with what Venus is doing. So all you water signs, you better watch out. So let's see and let's dig in and see why we're getting this weird vibes this week. So, we say beware the five-stage clinger. So we're going to go through the stages and what Venus is doing this week, and it's all going to just mesh. So stay with me. So Venus starts off, it squares Pluto, then it moves into Scorpio. Then it squares Saturn. And she moves from her rulership of Libra, which is her dignity, and into detriment when it goes into Scorpio, and then right away squares Saturn. We also have Mercury and Cap trining Jupiter, which is kind of nice, but it ends the week opposing Jupiter. Venus does, ends the week on the 9th, opposing Jupiter. So why do we get these vibes from this? It's really all in the water signs too, maybe the fixed signs a little bit as well. So just going to kind of take you through a little story so of how this can possibly manifest this week, so you can see maybe how is this going to work out in your life, and then we'll go through all the signs at the end, all the risings and sun signs, and see how this might affect you in particular. So we lead into the week with Mercury in Capricorn. So we're feeling focused, practical. Then Venus is at the last degrees of Libra. I have her moved up here already, but we're at the last degrees. Done. Squares Pluto in Capricorn. So we have Venus squaring Pluto. We're at the last degrees of Libra. So suddenly things become a little challenging relationships-wise. So either you or the person that you are with, whoever is going to be more potent. So if you're dating a water sign, maybe you're going to be this person. And if you're the water sign yourself, maybe, so if your partner has, you or your partner has luminaries in Scorpio, especially the fixed signs, where is their natal Venus? You want to get your chart pulled up and check it out so you can see how this all is going to kind of reflect. So you want to see where your angles are, where your luminaries or personal planets, and that is all the planets up through Mars. And even, you could even say the social planets, so Jupiter and Saturn as well. So we want to also look at what house we have Scorpio in. So I know for me, I have Scorpio in my 11th house. So that's groups, partnerships with groups, or something going on with groups. So we'll talk about how it's going to affect everyone in the houses at the end of the video. So why is this kind of given that five-stage clinger vibes? Well, this clinger stage 1 is that too good to be true. Hi, Picky. This Venus square Pluto has us looking deeper. The clinger wanting more out of the relationship. Maybe you're just dating. They want, they want commitment. This also moves a little bit into stage 2, where we have this excessive compliment. So just, oh, you're the greatest person in the world, you're so handsome, or you're so beautiful, just overly flattering. Venus square Pluto doesn't want to just date. Again, it wants commitment. This is for life. Pluto is about complete transformation, change forever, and that's what this aspect is looking for. So the deeper you look at yourself and your own needs, the issues, they begin to pop up, maybe when you're kind of looking at it from the outside. Then we have on the 4th, Venus moves into Scorpio. Now Scorpio is Venus's detriment. So the former fun, free-loving Venus is now more intense and more passionate. It can be obsessive, it can be overly emotional. It is moving into a water sign now. But it can also be highly sexual. Scorpio is known for its kind of sex drive. So, they're highly sexual, they're very magnetic. It's a very magnetic sign. So Venus in Scorpio is very magnetic. So that can keep you coming back, even if you know there's like red flags blaring at you all over the place. Venus in Scorpio can also be jealous. It can be possessive, and it can be almost desperate. So here's where the clinger stage number 3 comes in. So this is that persistence. You've been with somebody like this, or you probably have even been like this at some point in your life, maybe as a teenager, hopefully not as an adult, but they're out there. So these people don't take no for an answer. So Neptune is now stationing at 24 degree Pisces. So that's on the 6th. So it's coming to kind of like a standstill, which is good that it's going to stop being retrograde and move forward, but it's going to be at 24 degrees Pisces. So if you have anything again that would be in the mutable signs, at the end of the mutable signs, at about the 24th degree, or even in the water signs. So more focused on those water signs still. If you have a water sign, Scorpio or Pisces, you will feel this a little more intensely because Neptune's going to be just sitting right there. Neptune has a way of playing with your head a little bit. You aren't sure what's real, what's fantasy, what's illusion, what's delusion. So you kind of have that like, oh, I really like this person, but they're kind of much, and I don't know what to believe, I don't know what to think. So then we move into the clinger stage number 4, which is that ambush. So with Mercury in Cap trining Jupiter in Taurus, we begin to see a little bit more clearly. You're like, what am I thinking? What am I doing? And you start getting this realization, like, this person's crazy, or whatever it could be in your. So this is just my example. So we see things a little more clearly when it gets to be around the 7th of the week, of the 7th, which I think is Thursday. We're ready to have these big talks. This is Mercury trining Jupiter. So this is big talks. They're both so Mercury's in Capricorn, Jupiter is in Taurus. They're both in Earth signs. So they're both a lot more practical, a lot more focused, a lot more grounded, and like, okay, now let's see what we have to build on here. So we know we have to have that really big talk. So this then leads us to the stage 5, and that is the emotional outburst. So ending the week on the 9th, we have Venus opposing Jupiter. So we have those big talks about the relationship. Venus is opposing Jupiter. Things kind of get blown up. Jupiter could be, it's in opposition. So the opposition means, the argument back and forth, the fight. So we have Venus opposite Jupiter, water sign against, Venus is in a water sign, Jupiter is in an earth sign, kind of makes mud. So things are going to get a little bit messy, a little bit dirty by the end of the week. So that's kind of an example of how this could play out for you. So definitely look at where it is in your chart. But we're going to, it doesn't always have to be all this huge doom and gloom. It could be just something as simple as you have this person that just kind of won't leave you alone. That little puppy dog that's following you around, and you think, oh, well, maybe, she's pretty hot, or he's pretty hot, and there's where that, Scorpio comes in, and it's where that Venus and Scorpio, it's like, ooh, there's something about them, they're magnetic, so you get pulled that way, and then they don't leave, so maybe it was a one-night stand that doesn't go home, and all of a sudden they get a little clingy, and they're like, oh, let's go have breakfast, and let's do this, and then it's just like, this was just like a nothing, and so, but that is just a kind of a fun way to think about how things could work out. So, how will this work out in your chart? So we're going to go through the signs, and we're just going to kind of give some examples of, where this will be. So if you are an Aries, sun or rising, this is going to end up in your 8th house, just like here. So that's all about like those taboos. So pretty much, and it would be Scorpio in a very Scorpio house. The 8th house is a Scorpio house. So I think if you're an Aries rising, you're going to kind of, do the things. Of course, when you're Aries, you do things without thinking. That could, lead something on. that those taboos, just like I said, if you're one night stand or something like that, and that could end up being this kind of obsession, compulsion, that type of thing. So definitely look out for that if you are an Aries rising, because this is going to be a lot of Scorpio in your 8th house going on. So that's where all the taboos are. So then we have Taurus rising. If you're Taurus rising, this is going to be happening in your 7th house. So this is relationships. So is your relationship more one-sided? Is it like a little off balance? So, now that it's kind of getting off kilter, we were in Libra all nicey-nicey, everything's balanced, and then we start moving off of that. So are the relationships still balanced? Is it, maybe one likes the other one a little bit more? Maybe it's not, equal in some way, and that could become an issue. So just look for all those different aspects that are happening in your chart, and what do you have there? So this would be in Taurus. Taurus is a Venus-ruled sign, but it's in its opposition. So we have Venus in opposition to it. So see how that could cause some strife and some fights if you are a Taurus sun or rising. So watch out for that if you're in a committed relationship, or even if you're have a business partner. Things could be kind of going a little bit odd. Maybe the trust isn't quite there. That jealousy factor, maybe they're doing something on the side, who knows how it could work out for you. But definitely watch any kind of partnerships if you are a Taurus rising or sun. So then we move on to a Gemini. So if you are a Gemini sun or rising, this is going to be going on in your 6th house. So this is your house of health. So how could this play out? It could be any sort of thing, something that's going on. It's your health, it's work, it's maybe people that work for you, it's maybe even your pets. So, maybe things are going on with your pets, maybe you're a little too obsessed with them, maybe you have like somebody at work who's kind of making you feel a little uncomfortable. Maybe they're stopping in a little bit too much. Maybe they're like giving excuses to come in your office. So you might want to kind of watch out for that stuff. And of course, watch out for your health. If you're obsessively, feeling like you're obsessively doing something, Venus is going to be in there. You're excessively working out, trying to look beautiful. It might, be a little bit too much. So you want to, take things a little bit easy, especially health-wise. So don't overly work out. Also, if it is within your everyday work, you might want to kind of, keep people to know where you stand. Just don't like to date within the workplace. I know a lot of people do, but probably not the best idea in the world, just in case things don't go well, especially with this Pluto in here, with that obsessive-compulsive kind of vibe going on. You want to watch out for that. So then we have Cancer, sun or rising. We have this going on in your 5th house. So this is Cancer. It's another water sign, and this is in your 5th house of dating. So it's them. It's not me, it's you. It's kind of like when it's in Aries, when you're in Aries sun or rising, okay, it might be you, but when it's the Cancer sun or rising, it's more them. So this is happening in your 5th house, is something going on in your dating life, or in that kind of fun out that kind of went from fun to maybe a little bit obsessive. So this is where probably, if you have a lot going on in that house, if you have your sun or rising, or even your moon in there, I would kind of take it back a little bit. So this knowing what's going on in the astrology is always great to give you a little bit of warning, so you can kind of see what's going on from a different perspective. So then if you are a Leo sun or rising, this is going to be going on in your 4th house. This is your house and home. So maybe you could be overly obsessive about changing your home, wanting to beautify it, putting a lot of money into it, repainting every room, something that might be a little bit much, might be a little bit, okay, the house looks great, everyone's coming over for the holidays, so I have to paint every room, I have to make sure everything looks perfect. When I have company coming, it's a great excuse to just clean your whole house, top to bottom, and have everything look perfect, because you want everyone to think everything is all nicey-nicey. So if you have Leo, Sun, or Rising, this is going to be happening in that. Also, this is your kind of your upbringing and your heritage, your ancestry. So is there something going on there that maybe you're looking into your ancestry a little bit, trying to get really down and deep. This is Pluto, so maybe you're doing one of those ancestry.coms, looking at your heritage, really digging down and going really far back. We got Pluto involved in that, so it's a lot kind of that Pluto. So maybe you find something out that's kind of going to be like, oh my God, I thought I was this and I'm this, and transformed her. Who knows? So then we have Virgo. So if you're a Virgo Sun or Rising, this is going to be happening in your third house. So this is your siblings, maybe your neighbor, your close neighborhood, little trips. So maybe, if you're going with the whole stalker vibe, maybe you have a neighbor that's kind of popping in a little bit too much. Someone's getting a little bit clingy. Even like emails and stuff, like that close internet communication. So maybe somebody's emailing you, texting you. Maybe it's getting to be a little inappropriate, and maybe you need to put your foot down. Maybe you see something going on with one of your siblings that you might want to kind of look at, something that you might be concerned about. Maybe their relationship, you can see bad things in that. So maybe you're looking at this from the outside because it is one of your siblings. So maybe if you have a brother or sister that is dating someone that's not super savory, you might want to step in and say something before something bad happens. So then we have a Libra Sun or Rising. So if you are a Libra Sun or Rising, this is going to be going on in your second house. So a lot of Libra vibes in the second house, because the second house is naturally ruled by Taurus. So it's about financials, it's about the things you have. So you don't want to be overly obsessive about maybe shopping. Now this is the time of year where you're going shopping, again, buying things. Maybe you're, wanting to redo the house. Oh, if I'm having company, I have to have a whole new wardrobe. I'm going to be going to so many parties. If I'm having company, I want to have my house look beautiful, so I have to decorate everything. So you want to watch out for just getting a little too obsessive. Too obsessive with, having to look perfect, maybe spending a lot of money, or maybe you're being too stingy. Maybe you're being a little, Taurus, or the second house, this is what you have. So maybe you're being a little bit like you don't want to buy for people because you're like, oh, I don't have the money this year. But, with Venus, Pluto, we don't want things to go bad. So, you just want to, make a gift instead. So maybe you're something like that if you don't have too much money. But it's all about the thought. So then we have Scorpio. So if you are a Scorpio Sun or Rising, this is happening in your first house. So it's you. This is all the water signs, and this is happening to you. So either you're, doing this to somebody. So if you feel like, you are a Scorpio, you're getting a little too obsessive, maybe you're getting a little too jealous of something, maybe you're looking a little bit too deep and trying to find issues where there might not be issues, with that Saturn, like, oh, we have that Saturn square coming right up. So, what is going to put like kind of a block? What's going to be that barrier that's going to come up that, might throw a wrench into things that are going on? So you want to look for those blocks that are going to be coming up, those transformational things. Be careful that you yourself aren't getting too obsessive, or that you're perceiving that you're looking a little bit like that to other people. It's kind of how people perceive you, so you don't want them thinking like, this girl's getting a little bit nutty over here, or guy. So that is happening in your first house if you're a Scorpio Sun or Rising. So next we have Sagittarius. All fun Sages, it's your season. So we have on the 12th, that's going on in your 12th house, but this is kind of hiding something. So what is it that you feel like you need to hide? Is it something that has to be in relationships? Something that you could like almost obsessively be hiding? Maybe you're in a relationship, again, like that isn't super savory and you know it, so you're kind of keeping it like a little bit, holding back, not being too forthcoming with details about it when people are asking, oh, things are good. But there's things that you're hiding. What are you hiding away? What, this could transform you. This could be something that makes you into a different person. Could be good, could be bad. So you want to look out for that, see what else is in there. This is your 12th house of things that you don't, that's your hidden enemies. So, things forces that are working against you almost, that you're trying to kind of control. So then if you are, you want to just kind of let things go, let other people see what you're hiding, because maybe they'll give you a different perspective. So maybe be a little bit more open with something that you might be hiding. And if you're hiding something, you might be, there's a reason for it. So if you are in a relationship that you feel like you need to hide, there's a reason for that. So maybe it's not the best relationship for you. So then we have Capricorn. So if you're a Capricorn sun or rising, this is going to be going on in your 11th house. This is groups and friends. So you're going to be going out this month to a lot of holiday parties, maybe work parties, going out with friends. It's the holiday season. This is when everyone's getting together. Maybe there's going to be somebody that's, maybe getting a little too close, a little too clingy. Maybe someone that's getting a little bit obsessive. They're, oh, we went out, let's go out again, let's do this, let's do that. So maybe you got to watch out for that. So maybe this could also, if you're not really one that goes out a whole lot and you're kind of a more stay in the house kind of person, it's very Scorpio, they're a little bit more reserved. So maybe you are on the internet more. So maybe you're talking to somebody on the internet that might seem too good to be true. Remember that Neptune is just sitting there. So this would be in your 11th house. So, if you're a Capricorn rising, what's going on in your 11th house? You want to see, like, okay, am I meeting somebody online? Is this going to be like some crazy obsession, and then it ends up being, let's think of that Neptune kind of hanging out, about to go direct. So is this, maybe a catfishing thing? Maybe you're thinking that it's, the person of your dreams, and maybe it's just somebody trying to get money from you. You hear about that stuff all the time. So just be careful out there. So then if you are an Aquarius, sun or rising, this is going to be going on in your 10th house. So your 10th house is about your career. So again, this it's all Venus, so this could be partnerships, it could be romance. So maybe you meet somebody at work, maybe there's some kind of wild affair going on. Grass isn't always greener. Keep that in mind. So just, be smart. Don't do anything that's going to ruin your reputation. This is also the house of your reputation, so you want to kind of be careful there. Tread lightly and don't do something brash without thinking. Aquarius, you're kind of that, reserved yourself. So maybe, you keep your friends close. Maybe you're keeping your friends a little bit too close. You just have that smaller group of friends. And maybe it's like a lot of your work friends, but you don't kind of want to mix that. So you want to watch out that things get a little bit too obsessive. And then finally we have Pisces. This is going to be going on in your 9th house. So these can be obsessions about, lots of different things. It could be like you just want to get out and travel. So you're just checking out things all around the world. Or it could be obsessive about maybe a religious group that you're joining. Maybe it seems, I actually just watched some of this Netflix show called Escaping, what was it? The Twin Flames, Escaping Twin Flames. So this kind of makes me think that, so you get into something to try and like get somebody. It seems like, oh, they're going to teach me how to do this, it's going to be so great, but then it ends up being, they just want money, and they, and it ends up just being a whole big scam. So these are the things you want to watch out for. So this is going to be Venus this week. Venus is going to be playing with our emotions a little bit, kind of tugging it this way, tugging it that way, getting us a little bit obsessive compulsive, a little bit, jealousy is going to be rearing its ugly head, so you want to watch out for that. But so that is this week. Things clear up a little bit, so watch yourself at those holiday parties. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and have a blast out there. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.